Hello and welcome to Podcast Without a Purpose. I'm your host, Dejan, and here with me is Hien.
And Jack. Hello.
I am the little Deji boy, baby boy.
And I'm Jack.
And this will absolutely be the first video podcast because it can't not be. I have came up with a foolproof solution because I am a smart boy. Oh,
I hope it works.
hopefully.
Yeah.
I know. It should work.
This is the first episode that people get to see Hien with the little cat ear headphones on in the background.
I know. She wears them every week.
Well, she's in the foreground today.
She was excited to become an e-girl, and it just didn't happen.
I know. I have to wear makeup for it.
So, what are we talking about today, Dejan?
Well, since it's just us, it's a nice Boxing Day episode. I did buy champagne for it, but as it's just us, we may as well just do it a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, I was going to say I have whiskey downstairs, but I wasn't sure if we were going to still drink with the... Well,
it was originally going to be the Drunks cast, but it's just us. So let's talk about some content we're making.
Content.
So, what have we got coming up? Because we've launched the YouTube channel. It has one video on so far. It will have two because this will go up.
Yeah.
You and Hien are doing a Let's Play of Tropico 5 is the one that's up right now.
Tropico 5. We're also planning a Yes Your Grace Let's Play, a For the King Let's Play, and a Football Manager 2021.
I would like to do a Civ 6. Is it Civ 6? Civ 6, the one that was given away for free on the Epic Store, because I have it free.
I didn't download. I don't have the Epic Store.
I downloaded it because they gave away a ton of free games. The only one that I missed that I really wanted was GTA 5. So
I have Civ 5. Not a huge fan of Civ. It's all right. I play it every so often.
But if we can
really rarely.
If we can get everyone on the same game anyway, I'd like to do some more Among Us. Among Us was really fun.
Yeah, but that's dying now.
Is it? I quite like it.
I don't know. PewDiePie stopped playing it.
But KSI played it the other day, so
he is a shouty man.
He is a.
I've recorded 2 videos with little Peter. He's only a little man. 5'8", I believe.
5'8". That's taller than Ryan.
Ryan is a very little Twinkie boy.
Ryan's right, the little Twinkie boy.
So yeah, we got quite a few things coming out. I've got some Reddit videos planned with Grace. Me and Nick are going to play some Crusader Kings, 3 or 2. We don't know yet.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
I don't know. Oh, we're gonna watch Illegal Heathers. That's what we're gonna do.
That is what we're gonna do. Illegal Heathers, Illegally Blonde. There's another one, isn't there? I think there's 3.
There's like a Shrek the musical one.
I know there's a lot of Legally Blonde ones that are just bad because there's like a compilation of the Oh My God You Guys song.
Yes, yeah.
But like
it's like
really badly.
It's like the classic one which like a drama teacher puts on because she wants to play Elwoods.
Yes.
All the rest of the children's there. Actually, the best version of Legally Blonde I ever saw was a junior version of it.
The best version of Les Mis, well, I say the best version. It wasn't the best version, but it was like the most enjoyable one to me. Was a junior one. I think it was because the staging we had to be very ambitious with. We did a real good job. It's the one that it's the only production I've ever been in that I still talk about because we had the barricades on the wheels. They were on those like little trolley wheels. We handmade barricades with like old pieces of furniture and trolley pieces, and it was just really cool. We had 2 barricades, and you like pulled them apart to make room at the back of the stage.
The only awkward part of this junior performance of Legally Blonde is the part where she simulates the orgasm. Because like I knew the girl because like I was involved with the theatre society, and like she was 15.
Yeah, this is something this is something I've meant to talk about for a while. I don't know if I've ever brought this up on the podcast, but when we did Les Mis, they didn't cut out in the junior version. Lovely Ladies is entirely unchanged. Not even a single lyric has changed. Like the even stokers need a little stoke. Lovely Ladies waiting for a bite, waiting for the customers who only come at night. It's all the same, exactly the same. It's like word for word. They change a lot of things in that version, but for some reason those aren't any of them. And I think they fail to grasp the fact that even though up to 18-year-old people can be in it, most of the time the people in it are like 13. And it was really weird. It was really odd. The only person who was 18.
It's just theatre. Fucking who cares?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, to be fair, the only person...
I don't really believe in youth productions of things, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking do it. Like, it's words, it's music. Just do it.
To be fair, the only actually simulated anything was like they go behind something and it's like implied that they have sex. And that's like the only two people involved were 17 and 18, and they were also together anyway. So like it didn't even matter. But it was just really weird. It was just really weird to watch that number and hear like 13-year-old girls singing like, "Oh, I'm a prostitute."
I mean, you know. They probably had 13-year-old prostitutes in France.
Yeah, they probably did, but that doesn't make it any better, Dejan. Maybe that just makes it worse, because now I'm sad and it's weird.
One of my favorite memories is going to see a student version of Miss Saigon, where there was not one single Asian person.
Oh dear.
Like my girlfriend's sister at the time was playing Gigi. And like it was just like super weird. Because like obviously she's in like a bikini and it's like in a brothel. And like she was my girlfriend's sister. It's weird.
Yeah. Just a bit
It's
odd,
not
isn't
for
it?
you.
Well, it's not. Although my girlfriend did end up getting annoyed at me because like I had a dream where I'd had sex with her. That night.
Well,
I just woke up and I was like, you know what? I've just dreamt of. I shagged your sister.
some things are better left unsaid, Dejan, I think.
Well, you know, it's better than when I cheat on someone with their own cousin.
I think this podcast is a lot of Dejan telling stories and me and Hien just sat shaking our heads at him.
Hey, if she didn't want me to cheat on her, she shouldn't have brought her more attractive cousin around.
I think the flaw there is genetics. It's not.
No. The girl I was with wasn't very attractive. I mean, she was an 18-year-old going out of a 13-year-old. You know, she was scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I see.
Yeah. Her cousin was 14, so it was more normal.
Oh well, that's what she gets for being a nonce, I suppose. I do not pity her anymore. I did for about 5 seconds. Then
I always love telling that story because, like, it's one of the few face turns I've ever done.
Yeah.
I started as the heel, but I turned face. Cheated on with a cousin. She was a paedophile.
It's the one time you can be redeemed for your shenanigans is just by going But I did do it to a nonce though.
I remembered actually one of my best, nicest stories today. I was going to wait for Nick to be on the podcast to tell it because, he's involved. But, to be honest, all he would have done was basically just go, yeah, that happened. Because, it's very much my story. Although he did once describe it as the most Dejan story. So that's nice. Which is, it was just after Wetherspoons brought out their Order and Pay app.
Yeah.
Where you could sit down and me, Nick, and another one of our friends called Chris basically we were sat there for an afternoon, 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
And me and Nick were just drinking pink gin. And the waitress was coming over every 20 minutes and we were talking to her, just laughing on, having a good time. And she was just between you two, you've drank 2 bottles of gin now. We don't have any more gin. Can you drink something else? We're down No, they were down to the last bottle and they asked whether or not we could drink something else so that other people could have the gin.
To be fair, that was back. That would have been back when pink gin wasn't as popular as well, so they wouldn't have had it like a lot of it in.
No, this is just when it's becoming popular. This was just when it's becoming.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like if they would have only had like a couple of bottles in, because they would have thought, oh, people will want it, but not like they were. No, we're not going to run out more than 3 bottles, are we? And then between 2 of you drank 2 bottles.
But anyway, I was just having a nice time with her. Like I was joking on. You know how I am. Mm-hmm. I talk to people. And like she was relatively attractive, and I was trying to keep her over because my friend Chris fancied her. Now, during this, there's these 2 lads sat on a table next to us, and like after we had a nice little chat to her, obviously she goes back to the bar, and one of them tried to chat her up, and she just pied him off. And then one of the lads said, "Oh, what a stuck-up bitch!" And I lean over and go, "We had her laughing." We don't know her. She's a nice girl. And Nick said that's the one time that he's ever seen me as a hero. Me leaning over, just going, "Howie, we had her laughing." Like you can't say she's a bitch.
Not stuck up. You
just because she didn't want you.
Yeah.
But apparently it was just the way that I said it, where I was just like, "We had her laughing. We were making her day."
That is a good moment, to be fair, right?
And then classically in a Dejan moment, it does turn slightly bad, simply for the fact that well, as I said, my friend Chris really liked her.
Yeah.
So like at the end, like he was a bit too embarrassed to talk to her, so I was like, "Hi, sorry, could we possibly have your number?" And she was just like, she seemed very happy and excited. I was like, for my friend Chris. Chris isn't an attractive man.
Oh.
I'm sure. I'm sure he won't mind me telling that. And she said one of the most heartbreaking things ever, which is, "Oh no, I would for either of you 2."
Oh.
To me and Nick, and I was like, "Oh, we both have girlfriends. I'm sorry." And then I was just like, "Wait a second, let me take your number just in case. You never know of me." My relationship can implode at any moment.
Accident waiting to happen. Nothing to worry about, Hien. Don't worry about it.
And sure enough, me and that girl broke up 2 months later. And I went out of that.
To be fair, most of Dejan's past relationships have been like one of those houses where the plaster in the ceiling is kind of falling down a little bit. So by Dejan standards, what's going on right now is like a fucking mansion. So.
Oh, what's happening right now is crazy.
It's about a billion times
like
better.
Each other.
Oh,
like
nearly every relationship I'm cutting this out.
nearly every relationship I've ever been in, I've ended up hating the girl within a month.
Yeah.
I've just kind of continued through awkwardness. Nah. I say this, with both of my girlfriends, we had a beautiful year together. It's just a shame it went on for more than a year. I once said that in one of them, whilst I was apologising for my blowjob comments.
Listen, the story builds and builds on this podcast. They learn more and more about Dejan's crimes against this one individual.
Listen, love, we had a lovely year together. It's just a shame it lasted 2.
I have no sympathy for her.
It's been emotional, but not necessarily in a good way.
Oh, that's just my life.
Mm-hmm.
Recording.
It's not recording.
Oh no.
I never pressed record on the video. Webcast. A pox on me.
No. We called it through from the start as well.
Clap sync.
Classic Dejan. Do you want to start it now?
No, we've already had some. We've already had some gold. No. We've already had some gold.
No. I mean, do you want to like add the video in halfway?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Okay. Could I have a silence for the actual clap sync? 1 second. I'm going to stop recording, then start recording again. Silence. There you go. Okay.
There we go. There's been a clap.
There you go. Okay. Oh!
There we go. There's been a clap.
All right.
It's
So 1 second.
cursed.
How long?
About 20 minutes we got.
32 divided 32 take away 16.
16.
Okay, thank you. 16 minutes in. Okay.
Woo! Well, you know what? We'll get there. Now this video. Now you can see Hien with the cat girl headphones.
You're still going to be editing these, right? You're going to be cutting out some of the shit. Okay. So the plan of the video podcast is they're going to come out a week after the audio podcast. So
yes,
they're going to come out the concurrent Saturday or Sunday. Because PWAP doesn't have a fixed time. Sometimes it's a Saturday, sometimes it's a Sunday. It's a surprise.
It's just when we got the people we want.
And it's sometimes when I can be bothered to edit. When I can press my 2 buttons.
Yeah. Press your little Audacity button that does it all for you.
Recently, I changed it from 2-second breaks to a second break. Now there's not a break over a second. And I'll pause over a second. Which is absolutely beautiful for when you reference an awkward silence. And it's just like half a second.
Anyways, that's what awkward silence... It's almost... It's just like when people pause for about 1 second and then just go... Anyway, and you just carry on with the conversation.
Oh, and it makes it twice as chaotic. I love it. I was listening to some of it and it was just like bang, 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 bang.
Are you doing with all the recordings?
Yes, I've went back and done it for all of them. Oh. Some of them dropped 7 minutes.
Oh.
We had 7 minutes in more than 2-second breaks. Sorry, more than a second breaks.
Where did you do it?
What?
With the 1 second.
Yeah, 1 second break.
I mean, when did you?
I think
I turned 1 second, anything more than 1 second break into a 0.5 second break.
No, I mean, when did you edit?
Like 2 days ago.
Ah, okay. Because when I listened back to the previous version, in 2 second break, it was okay.
Yeah. We've also got a few new listeners as well. I've been advertising on Reddit.
Hello to the new people.
Yeah. To be honest, we've always, everyone that I've shown this to, including quite a few strangers, like it. Which is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy to me. I feel like this podcast is 90% bullshit. It's 90% how I act in a pub.
Yeah, we just sit, chat, tell some stories.
I demand attention.
Eventually there's gonna be a drunk cast, so we'll even get that part of
I mean, this was supposed to be the drunk cast, but then
this was supposed to be.
Even if just Grace was here, I would have whipped out the champagne.
Oh, I would have broken out the fireball if we had 3 of us. But
to be fair, whipping out the champagne for Grace makes it seem so I'm very excited to see her.
Is that champagne in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
She's the one person I'm consistently nice to because I don't know her well enough.
Yeah. It's great. It's
she said,
whenever I introduce new people to you, they're like, "Oh, Dejan seems pretty nice," and I'm like, "Yeah, meet him again. You'll see. He'll forget your name, and then you'll be like, oh."
To be fair, I've had quite a few people meet for the first time and hate me. You know, I'm thinking, I'm that there's just been a lot of incidents through my life where I've been a dick.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
I enjoy it. You know, it's fun. Oh, and now you can finally see the Dejan action. It's fun. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it?
How 90% of my interactions
constant arrow.
Yeah, this is how 90% of the interactions with women end with me. So,
Dejan, did you sleep with my cousin?
Yeah.
Actually, mayhap.
I didn't even get to the end of that. I didn't actually know they were cousins, even though she introduced me to her, and I think she said at the time she was her cousin. But I don't listen. especially to women.
Yeah. We know you don't listen.
That's
why he never comes on the podcast.
Basically, we I was at one of their family meals, and like they both introduced me as their boyfriend. And I was like, "Hello,
all right,
how you doing?" And then her dad kicked me out, and I was just there. Oh, what do you want from me?
I suppose I should be leaving, and I'm taking her with me. Goodbye.
What do you want from me? I'm Mediterranean.
You just put the cousin on your back at the door, Cal.
I'm half Italian.
And what are you gonna do about it?
To be fair, I was only 12 for this story. As I said, I was only 12.
You said you were 13.
Or 13. You know, it's the same age. It's around that age.
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember. I destroyed some children's day today.
I destroyed some children.
Like, 2 people cried at their test results today. Like, the listening test was really hard. It was like, you have to... What the first question in it is, how many schoolyards are there? And in the story it says, a schoolyard. Which is like a little bit advanced for grade 3, I think. To know that a schoolyard means 1 schoolyard.
Yeah.
That's a little bit advanced for grade 3. Foreign grade 3.
For non-native English, that sounds quite difficult.
To be fair, I will say these kids are kind of like half native speakers. Like, as in, I'm just there without any teaching assistant, and they genuinely understand what I'm saying. Like, I think they're like from mixed families. A lot of them have Western looks as well.
Oh.
So yeah. So to be fair, they're not fully non-native, but obviously they don't have quite as, they're not as good as you would expect from an English.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're around American level.
Is it like it's I feel like it'd be kind of like, we had a Portuguese kid in my school when we were learning Spanish. Obviously Portuguese and Spanish aren't the same language, but they share a lot of words.
Yeah.
So like, even though he knew quite a lot of it, and he'd probably spoken a bit of Spanish before, he didn't speak like fluent Spanish because it was technically a different language.
My knowledge of Italian has destroyed my ability to speak French, but I've also realised that it's destroyed my ability to speak Vietnamese, and now Vietnamese has destroyed my ability even more to speak Italian. Because, like, I just mix up the words in my head. Like, I genuinely no longer remember the word for eat in Italian. I just think of mange.
Isn't it just como?
Yeah.
Because isn't it the same as in Spanish?
Is mange Italian? Yeah. It is. What's the Vietnamese for eat?
Mange is also French, though.
Hien.
Oh.
Because I only know the Spanish one, which is quite different. I thought the Spanish one and the Italian one were the same. It's obviously Italian and French, not.
Do you know the Basque language? The closest relative to the Basque language is Japanese. Basque is obviously Northern Spanish.
Yeah, all I remember about Basque is that somebody's name meant something in Basque. Someone's name who I knew meant something in Basque, but I don't remember who it was. So I can't even say like, oh, it means this. Like, I just can't remember it off the top of my head.
My name means God in Serbian.
My name is a lot of things.
God, and then Savicevich is son of Satan. Sevi, Satan. Oh, kind of religious name.
God, son of Satan.
God, son of Satan, Satan-Eid. And then elm tree in Hebrew.
Oh, Satan. That's.
Fine.
I feel like
my nan's family's probably Jewish at some point.
Oh.
My mom's family, yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean they're Jehovah's Witnesses now. You know. To be honest, we have Jewish somewhere on my dad's side, but like it's not spoken about. They're a Roman Catholic.
Oh, I feel like Satan would make a good band name.
Yeah,
like just Satan, but like one in normal font and one in like bold italic font.
It would be a band I didn't like though.
It'd be like Tony Tone.
Yeah.
Well, Tony. I can't remember if the last one's also pronounced Tony or not. I think they're all pronounced Tony.
I've just thought, with us doing it like this, we can actually start live streaming these PWAPs.
We can.
Crazy. I mean, we never will, because I don't know what I'm going to say.
Subscribe to
I know I
official on Twitch, which doesn't exist.
I know I say that I don't ever plan to cut anything, but that sometimes doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
The whole point of live streaming is to have some subscribers.
You get people to pay you basically to do it.
You can gain subscribers from live streaming though as well, because it puts you in another segment.
Yeah, live streaming is kind of like plus people can like pay you to talk about certain things.
Yeah,
so
we're not being paid to talk about anything though. Like,
we're not being paid to talk about anything.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Like, Josh has already done our ad read.
I know.
Which, like amazed me.
Didn't Josh do an ad read for himself though? He didn't do an actual ad read.
No. It's an advertiser that he has. But we get no money from it.
Yeah.
It was
the difference is in this instance we'd be getting paid for it. If someone was like, if we did like a live stream and someone was like,
to be fair,
here's 3,000 bits. Talk about this.
I think he likely gets paid on interactions / amount bought. So I doubt he made anything. Unless you know.
Let's just make him edit that.
To be fair, I do actually legitimately want to create merch just for me to wear. Because I really like our logo. Yeah. I think we may as well sell them on print per demand. I mean, I doubt anyone would buy them, but you know, maybe we'll sell one or two to the people who listen.
I'll tell you what I would
maybe I'll sell one or two to the people who are on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that if I was gonna design any merch, it would be the PWAP logo in like big lettering on the back, and then on the front like a little tiny PWAP logo on the chest as like a zip hoodie. Because then you can have it open and people can still see the logo on the front and on the back.
Yeah, the one which I wanted was just the PWAP logo on the back, and then just in white light writing Times New Roman, just listen to PWAP.
Listen to PWAP, yeah.
Because that's how
I feel like that'd be good for a t-shirt.
That's how I end like 40% of my tweets now.
Well, most of the time, to be fair, you do throw in the word cunts as well. It's usually listen to PWAP cunts.
To be fair, I could get away with wearing that here. I saw someone...
Oh, I could.
Like you see people with swear words on their shirts all the time. I saw someone with something really sexual written on them, and they were like 8 recently. It was like pussy magnet. And like it was an 8-year-old girl, and I was like, get in there.
When I was like 13, I had a t-shirt that said "Fuck Google, ask me." That my uncle had owned, but because he was like so skinny and like lanky, it just the shirt just fit me, and I wore it for about 2 weeks, and then my mum was like, "You're not wearing that anymore. It's a fuck on it." Like my stepmom and my dad were like, "Yeah, wear it whenever you want. Like we don't care as long as you don't get like." Don't wear it for like non-uniform day at school, but other than that, you're all right. And my mum was straight up like, "No, that's going away. You're never having that back."
I was always shocked that I never got in trouble for wearing my Brigada Rossa shirt at college. Like,
I don't. That's lost on me, Dejan.
It's a what do you call it? The Red Army faction. It's the Italian Red Brigade. But like it has an AK-47 on the front. 1 second, I can show you a picture of Joe Strummer wearing it.
We'll edit one onto the screen. I'll edit one onto the screen.
But my great grandfather was part of it. There, I put it on the screen. I put it on the chat.
You showed me the photo before. Yeah, I just
that's it. Yeah, I used to wear that. Like every other like it was in my shirt rotation. I had like 7 shirts I'd rotate. So I used to wear that all the time in college, and nobody said anything. I just had a Kalashnikov in there. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, in college it's a bit different. You can kind of do what you want. In my sixth form, we had to wear business dress, which was really fucking annoying, especially because they told us that in the summer we had to ask to take our blazers off, and we weren't allowed to take our ties off. Only certain teachers would let us take our ties off. It was very obnoxious, and I just took my tie and blazer off anyway because I was a little shit and I was melting.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I wouldn't have went to that sixth form. Like,
I didn't. Like they changed the rules. When I applied, the sixth form had a complete non-uniform. Like, absolutely no one had to wear uniform. Not even the teachers had like a dress code, but there was no proper uniform to it. When I moved up there, when I moved up there, they changed it, and I couldn't leave because I'd already like signed up for the thingy, and it would have taken too long to apply at other places. So I was like kind of mad about that.
Our college tried to get us to wear name badges halfway through the second year, and I got that set back for an entire year by race baiting.
Oh, we had to do that. We had to do that with lanyards, and they spelled the names on the lanyards wrong. They spelled the names on the lanyards wrong for a ton of people. They spelled my friend Ashley's name with an EY, and her name is like EIGH.
Here's the thing,
and they didn't fix it.
Here's the thing, Jack. They did that to me, and I made it a racial incident.
Oh.
They were trying to make it wear it, and I was like, I'm not wearing something which hasn't got my name on it. And they're like, what do you mean it doesn't have your name on it? It's like, my name's Dejan, not Dejan. They didn't have the accent. And they're like, we can't do an accent. Like, as things like, you can work out a way because you've done Arabic for her. So I'm simply not wearing something that doesn't have my name on. And they scrapped the entire idea until the next year.
My school was nowhere near diverse in any way.
Oh
so
no,
we had like I don't think in my sixth form there was a single non-white person.
We had one Muslim and 2 Sikhs.
There was quite a lot in the actual secondary school, but in the sixth form, nobody wanted to go there. The people weren't going there by choice. So as soon as it became like a sixth form college type thing, everyone just left. I mean, our entire year, like I say, were very white. In fact, I don't think there's anyone who was even from outside of that town, apart from maybe me, because I wasn't born there. Yeah. I was born like other side of Doncaster.
Yeah.
But like everyone else there was born near or in that specific town. I won't say the specific town because I don't want people to find out where I went to school. But it was really weird. It felt like it was like private school levels of whiteness, but in the most rundown school. And they built a new building for it, but we never really experienced the new building in the sixth form because the sixth form centre was built in I think it was built in 2010 or somewhere around then. Maybe a little bit earlier. So we had the sixth form centre that was like 10 years old at the point that we were using it.
There's pretty much no racial diversity in the estate I grew up in. But literally the only black family lived directly next to us, and we fucking hated them. They were the most xenophobic people towards us. Like, genuinely horrible shit. Hated them. Like, of course, Serbian, Slav. Everything was because of our nationality. Everything. So, it didn't exactly do great things for race relations.
Yeah, not exactly the
because
best situations.
Until I was on uni, they were the only black people I knew, so I was just like, oh fuck, they all hate Serbians.
Turns out it was just this one family.
It was just that one family, aye.
What can you do?
I know.
People are a chaotic bunch, and sometimes
they're absolutely awful. The kid had dreams of being a footballer. He wasn't good enough anyway, but I was pretty happy when he broke his legs.
Oh,
And that might have been, something.
Nah.
Oh.
Well, I suppose at least he can still have dreams of being a footballer.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I
probably never get there.
It's just so weird thinking that like people used to try to bully me all the time, despite the fact that I'm relatively sure I was the only person at a state that had any fucking boxing training or any fight training at all that wasn't karate.
Yeah.
Like the amount of fights I got into is just way too much for someone that was quite good at it. Like, just how can't you learn?
You'd think people would stop. Like, it gets to a point and you're like...
They did at school. I only ever got into 2 fights at school. College. In that estate, it was just like, this might be the time. This is it. I got the police called on me 4 times. The self-defense.
How?
Well, incidents.
Well, yeah. I think I never got into a fight at school. I had people try to fight me, but I just kind of like walked away or ran off and didn't really bother with them especially because they like ganged up on me and stuff. Yeah. But the only fight I ever remember getting into, well, there was 2. There was one where this group of lads were talking shit about my sister, and at the time she was like 10 and we were 12. And they were saying some pretty disgusting shit. Oh yeah, I have 2. But this at the time she was like 10, and they were saying some pretty disgusting shit, and I just wasn't having it. So I punched one of them in the face, and then 3 of them were kind of stood around while this one, because he was quite a big lad as well, the one that I hit. I just wasn't having it. I was like, I don't give a shit if I get beat up. Like I'm just not having it. And then he punched me in the face once and was like, I've had enough. And I was like, I'm fine. And then I walked off.
The first fight I was in at school was due to a guy who used to be my best friend, and basically he was starting to get popular because he was tough. And one of the ways that he was showing how tough he was by essentially bullying me. Because I had a bit of a reputation. So basically he was going by the thing of just like, oh, if they see me getting away with this, they'll think that I'm really tough. Yeah. So basically, eventually it went too far. And I knew exactly what I had to do. And that is, I walked up to him, he said something, I punched him in the stomach once, and he just slid down as if he had been shot. I cracked one of his ribs. He was off school for like 2 weeks. And because nobody really thinks that a punch to the stomach should hurt that much, if I punch him in the face, they might still think he's tough. A punch to the stomach knocking you out in one punch, not knocking you out, but like stopping you in one punch. He was never seen as tough again. That destroyed his reputation. So that was the first fight I was in at school. And then the second one was a group of year 8s when I was in year 11. Like, they didn't know who I was, they didn't know these stories, they hadn't seen that, they hadn't heard of that. And they were just, I let them get away with it for like a week and just randomly tripping me up. And then one time I just lost it. I ended up hitting one of their heads off a locker and throwing another one down the corridor, and they left me alone. Neither times did I get one single detention. Because I can write a letter.
The only other fights that I've ever been in is where like someone's hit me or like shoved me into something or like knocked my head into something. And I've just been like, I'm not hitting you back. I'm not a little bitch. The only other one that I would even consider a fight, I didn't even like. I literally got grabbed on my way home from school. I think it was the day after I'd like had a fight with that one guy. Yeah. And him and his 3 friends grabbed me by my backpack, threw me onto the floor, and started like kicking me. And I was like, "This is it. This is where I go. This is where I die." But no, they weren't. It wasn't like they weren't like kicking me in the head or anything. They were just being like they'd like coming down and punching me and shit. And it was just like it just was not a fun experience. And then the school did nothing about it because it wasn't on school grounds, even though it was about 5 feet from the school.
Schools are useless, man. Like
they waited until we got. There was like the way that my school was. There was like a path, and it was a road with like there was like a leisure centre, and out of the leisure centre car park there was a road with like a pavement on either side. and you walked out of that road, and as soon as you were out of there, you were on this like big open space. It's like a big park. I was like crossing over onto the park, which is right opposite my house. I'm about 3 minutes from my own home, and then I'm getting the absolute shit kicked out of me, and it was not fun.
Schools and police don't even bother with them. Like, it's just like, absolutely no point.
Like, it really was not worth it. I've never had anything with schools or police ever be like useful to me. The only thing that police have ever done that's ever been like a benefit to me is when I was at the Black Lives Matter rally, and that was literally just because I feel like some of those people would have killed us if there was not police there. I feel like we would have been straight up dead because they were throwing flares and bottles and shit, and they were drunk 40-year-old racist men. It was not fun.
There was none of those Black Lives Matter protests here. I don't think.
Oh, we had quite a few, but the second one that got organised, it was like there was barely any people left after the first rally, like the huge one. And we were there was like about 50 of us. There must have been no more than about 50 of us stood around Monument. Actually, there might have been about 100, maybe 200, but there wasn't many anyway compared to the like 3,000 that had turned up earlier in the day. And we stood around the Monument, and there's this guy with a megaphone, and he's like letting people take it to speak. And he's like, so. This one rally's not going to do anything. I say we do this again, and I went, yeah, fucking week. And then a week to the day, we'd like organised it all, and we just went and did it again. But like,
what?
there was still a ton of people there. That was the one where the EDL showed up and were like throwing flares and glass bottles and just generally trying to murder us. It was really fun.
One of my one of my best ever moments happened at a protest. One of the most Dejan moments. Basically, I was waiting to meet Nick and Pete because we were going to see Newcastle play, and we were waiting at Eldon Square where there just happened to be a protest happening. It was for Refugees Welcome, and these two girls that I knew from karaoke came over. And we're just like, oh, that's really cool that you came here. And they were flirting. And I didn't react quick enough. And I said, oh, no, I'm just here to meet friends. And they were like, oh, okay. And then I was like, wait, look around for context. And it was Refugees Welcome. I was like, but as a refugee, I just got to say, events like this are just fantastic.
Hi, Dejan, refugee. Here's my card.
and then I was just like leaning against it. As Nick and Pete appeared, and I was just talking to them, I was like, oh, hello, these are my two friends. And Pete was like, fuck's sake, Dejan. What a Dejan entrance. What a Dejan entrance.
You really pulled a Ted Mosby architect on them. You're just like, hi, Dejan, known and loved refugee.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Love it though. It was a good bit of quick thinking, to be fair. I mean, it was
that is. Yeah. If you've got the cards, you play them. You know.
Yeah. You just gotta do what you can. What?
I've just realised something with the syncing of this episode.
Yeah.
For the video podcast, you're gonna have to use the original audio, not the Audacity one, because otherwise it'll cut out the pauses in the audio, but not the video.
Yeah, I can do that easy enough.
It'll be fine anyway. We'll be on the screen, so
basically what I'm planning to do is syncing the two up, and then sending the video to you to do whatever you want to do with it, and then I'll do my usual Audacity stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah.
What was my reaction then?
What?
I hate that I'm straight.
You hate what?
I hate that I'm straight.
He really just hit you with the men.
Yeah. Hey, I don't think I did anything wrong there at all. I just
I told him that if I was dating him, I wouldn't be his friend.
Yeah.
As a girl. Of course, as a guy, it would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Dejan's a very, very chaotic person to be friends with, and like you gotta weigh up the pros and cons.
I just
my still.
I like to shock and tantalize.
Shock and tantalize.
Yeah.
Sounds like the name of a really bad porno using like shock collars.
Like I don't know. I like making people laugh at things that they wouldn't ordinarily laugh at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's fun.
To be fair, I think you've gotten me with some stuff that's like caught me off guard before. Because I laugh a lot. If I think something's funny, I'm gonna laugh at it because I want people to know I think it's funny. But which is a mark of a terrible comedian, really, because most comedians never laugh. But except for Jimmy Carr, because it's part of his brand.
Yeah.
But
I try to remember to laugh sometimes in this, but mostly I do keep my comedian stoicness.
Yeah, it's a very, especially with like nihilistic comedy, which is a lot of what I watch, what kind of what you watch. Not really nihilistic, but more just like stone faced, playing it straight, like Andy Kaufman, Emo Phillips, that sort of thing. But it's just like flat. Yeah, that's deadpan. It. That's what you get. Yeah, exactly. And I think I learned that a little bit from Bo Burnham, because he doesn't really, he very rarely laughs at like the bits that he does and stuff. And like you can see, sometimes a lot of comedians you can like see when the audience is laughing, they'll have like a little chuckle to themselves while they like pause for laughter. But like Bo Burnham, you just see him just stood there like, are you quite done yet? It wasn't that funny. And I kind of love it. I kind of love the way that he judges you for laughing at things.
It's one of the first bit of advice my dad told me, is that comedy is inherently competitive, not collaborative. Do not laugh at other people's jokes, because then you're making them look better than you, and you're not getting your stuff out.
Yeah.
I will prioritize getting my line out than to make other people look good. This is slightly different because it's my podcast, so I do try to let myself go a little bit, but I have the training. So I don't naturally laugh ever. Like when Hien makes a joke just in normal life and I'm not being recorded, I'll more likely just go, that's a pretty good joke. I like that one. Yeah, decent.
I mean,
that is my raucous laughter. I would steal that.
I think that's why I do quite well on podcasts, because I do tend to laugh, just naturally laugh at other people's stuff. I think it's good for like a podcast.
I mean, it's why I try to laugh, even though, in honesty, like I would say 90% of my laughter in this podcast is semi-forced. It's like rather than reacting at a joke, going, yeah, I'll remember that. That'll be my joke soon.
The only joke that has ever stuck in my head was upon re-listening to the first couple of episodes, where the Dennis the Menace and just general Beano bit, and calling Beano and Dandy Tories. That bit just lives in my head now.
To go back to the Beano, actually, to go back to what we were talking about earlier, one of the sites that me and Pete did our quiz on was the Beano. Hello, Jack. It appears that he has been... Yeah. How are you doing? May as well keep this going. It's not being cut out, so we need to keep talking. I'm not doing this much editing.
I'm a bit hungry.
Oh no, we didn't eat. We should have been... We can have some champagne. That'll fill us.
Oh yeah. Light drinker.
Yeah. I will drink the champagne. 1 second. I may as well go to full cam for a little while. Oh no, I may as well not. Back to podcast 2 cam. There you go. I forgot that we're not using the webcam through the webcam.
Okay. Alright, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
We kept this going seamlessly.
We had a trespasser in the territory. It's fine though.
Anyway, me and Pete, one of the quizzes that we did was on the Beano website, and he slated it. I was like, "What are you expecting, Pete?"
Yeah, all I remember of Beano is that Dennis the Menace is a working class hero, and I don't remember any of the other Beano characters.
Roger the fucking Dodger.
Roger the Dodger, of course.
The best one.
Dennis and Nasher were just
classic. Love it.
To be fair, the only one I remember from Dandy, is it Dandy that Banana Man's from? I know he's blue. I know Banana Man's blue. I figured he was from Dandy. Banana Man was pretty good, but like as a standalone thing, I'd never buy one of the Dandy books because I don't want to support conservatives.
My dad used to write for Viz. He wrote the Buster Gonads character and Sid the Sexist.
I've heard of Sid the Sexist.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of his more famous lines. Sid the Sexist. My dad was actually mentioned in the first ever Newcastle Comic Con.
Ooh.
Because Viz went there, because obviously they're a Newcastle brand. And basically my dad, halfway through, similar to me and Nick, got bored of Comic Con and just put a sign on his station saying, "Meet me at a nearby pub. If you want me, I'm here." And he was just at a pub next door, and just on the back of beer mats, he was writing his comics for that week. And he was, putting in his pocket the good ones, because nearly all of his work was handed in on beer mats anyway, so it didn't matter. But the ones that he wasn't liking, he was just throwing away. And, people were taking them. People who came to see him were taking them. So he was actually mentioned for providing personalised drawings for fans. And he was like, I fucking wasn't, but... He wasn't mentioned by name, he said one Viz writer. But it was pretty cool. Still.
Yeah.
So Viz, when he was there, was absolutely beautiful place to work. They used to watch Button Moon at 12 p.m. At 12 p.m, all of the things were taken off. All of the phones were taken off their things. You just get a busy tone for half an hour, so they could watch Button Moon. They used to watch it as a group. He used to literally just go to the pub. It was above a pub, and the majority of the writers just went down to the pub to drink and do their writings. And then and then Virgin came in and ruined it all, because basically they looked and went, "Look at how successfully they're doing. Imagine what they would do if we locked them in a room for 8 hours a day, rather than let them roam free." And basically what happened is they stopped having any sort of creative ideas.
But just on the subject of Button Moon, if I ever do psychedelics, I'm watching Button Moon. I'm watching Button Moon. I'm watching an episode of The Clangers because of I want to see what the Soup Dragon does to me. I want to see how that affects me. And then I want to watch an episode of Timmy Time, the spin-off of Shaun the Sheep, because I feel like hearing that owl that just goes like in my weird.
I'm too old for that.
My little brother used to watch it. It was something I'd walk into the living room. Timmy Time.
Makes sense. I watched it in my teens.
I watched a little bit of Shaun the Sheep, but I was a bit too old. I watched Wallace and Gromit. Jeez.
Oh yeah, Shaun the Sheep and Wallace and Gromit were during my time. Timmy Time was after my time, but my little brother watched it. That's why I know it's a thing. And me and my dad used to take the piss out of the owl because the owl goes and it's really weird. No one in that show speaks. No one in Shaun the Sheep speaks either. I mean, it feels normal in Shaun the Sheep because they're all sheep, apart from the farmer. The farmer's it's very Charlie Brown. He does the
I've seen a few episodes. It's all right. Nowhere near as good as Wallace and Gromit.
Shaun the Sheep was pretty well made though. I love art animation.
And the Wrong Trousers is one of the best animations ever.
I think Curse of the Were-Rabbit is probably one of the greatest stop motion, if not the greatest stop motion movie of all time.
I just prefer the Wrong Trousers in general. I think it's the better movie.
Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I like Curse of the Were-Rabbit because it's featured.
I like them all. I like them all, but the Wrong Trousers is just so much happens in the Wrong Trousers.
Yeah, I think the Wrong Trousers is better because it's like telling a similar length story but crammed into a shorter space.
Yeah.
Whereas Curse of the Were-Rabbit, it tells a lot more jokes because it has a lot longer, and there's a lot more tense moments and tense scenes and stuff. But it gets a bit too spread out.
Where does Shaun the Sheep originate? Is that the wrong trousers?
Shaun the Sheep originated from A Close Shave.
A Close Shave, yeah. That's another one of my favourites. That's brilliant.
Close Shave's great. The robot dog was just hilarious.
Did you watch any of these? No.
I watched the Curse Were-Rabbit.
Yeah. Curse the Were-Rabbit is so good.
It was huge as well. It was huge. It got loads of advertising.
It was good. Peter Kay being in it he played it pretty well. I like his line about arson. I think the arson line's pretty good. There's quite a few. There's a few little good sight gags as well that I even as a kid I picked up on. Like it's a bit where Wallace holds a box up at the end to when he turns back into a human and it says like nuts. Make him say nuts.
Yeah, I remember.
I picked up on that as a kid, and
one of my dad's old stand-up jokes was that he hates going on planes because when he buys a packet of peanuts, it just says "may contain nuts," and he just doesn't want to deal with that sort of uncertainty. I think that's one of my dad's.
Open it, it's like.
I think that's one of my dad's lines. It could be someone else's. I've watched a lot of comedy through my life. I hope that's one of my dad's. Otherwise, I've accidentally nicked a joke from him.
On his behalf.
Yeah.
Half a bit of
his big break in comedy was writing for a transvestite comedian. That's how they describe themselves, by the way, a transvestite comedian.
I presume so.
Yeah. Like. Has the word transvestite gone out of fashion?
I don't necessarily think so. I think it's not really a descriptor anymore. It's more like if someone wants to use it, then
that's
what you describe yourself as. Then fair enough. As long as it's not harming other people, it doesn't really matter.
My dad always points out that it's not a drag act because he got asked by a drag act to write for them, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I've never really watched drag, and then he referenced the fact that he had wrote for the transvestite comedian. Like, yeah, but that was different. Like, they were a woman. I could just write for a woman.
Yeah.
Like, Ezzy Izzard. He wasn't the one. He wasn't the one he was writing for, by the way. I was saying Ezzy Izzard obviously recently came out.
Yes. Eddie Izzard. She recently switched over to she, her pronouns.
They're one of the ones. He was one of the ones that said that you could call her previously as he. Obviously, they originally swapped, but now it's more. She's now locked into girl mode, rather than
she's fully come out now.
So like because like in his video he specified that like he was gender fluid. He was never. Now it's just he's just in girl mode. It's like one of the times where you can refer to he for the previous work.
I see.
And I'm trying to desperately get through this without misgendering again because I'm not a native English speaker. I mean, I'm very fucking good at it, but I only started when I was 6.
On the topic of people who recently came out, I don't think we ever brought this up on the podcast, or I think it may have only been mentioned briefly, but Elliot Page.
No, we had a full discussion about it. We did.
Did we? I thought we'd only briefly mentioned him, and then we'd gone off onto our own tangent.
We had quite a long conversation about them on the birthday episode, which isn't out yet. And I'm going to put out on New Year's Day. I've decided it's coming out on New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
I want.
That's not very far away, actually.
I want Ryan back on the podcast in between then, because I want to ask him how many episodes of the podcast does he think he's been on now. It's still one.
Still one so far.
This one is at least coming out. I've just delayed it because like I keep forgetting to do it, and now like I don't want to just put it out on a random day. So I think I'm gonna every year we're gonna do one on my birthday, and it'll come out a month later. It'll come out on New Year's Day.
That is nice though, because it staggers it a little bit. It gives us a bonus episode done, and then we don't have to do anything over the like.
Well, it's also just like
period of New Year's.
Yeah, it's more just for New Year's Day because like we may as well put out an extra episode then because no one does anything on New Year's Day.
Yeah. So it'll just be nice because we can put out an extra episode without having to actually record anything.
It's very ambitious of you to think it will last some year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already spanned a full year, Hien. We were doing this last year.
It might go on another hiatus. It might. But I actually, for the first time, feel as if I'm working on a project which is going to continue.
Okay.
I'm
excited about it, yeah.
Even if I have to bring in new faces to fill out, to pad out, I'll bring in my dad. Fuck it.
I'm sure I can drag in a couple of actually funny people.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Jack. I'm gonna do it because it's my podcast, bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, additional to the people that you bring.
No. Well, it's just more. I want to make sure I know them because, like, I don't want the risk that they. Basically, everyone that I've brought in is someone that I felt would mix.
We'll have a nice screening process. I'll drop you the Twitter out and you can interview them.
I still want V in for an episode. I find it funny. From the bonk provider.
We'll see if she's ever alive enough.
Obviously,
for it. To be fair, it is always her time zone's 2 hours later than mine, so it's always like 2 p.m.
Yeah, and Grace was pretty much whipped in because I found her funny in that one Among Us game.
Yeah,
and like she had danced with Hien that one time at karaoke, and I was like, oh, she's nice. Made her feel welcome.
There's quite a few people who have like introduced to you, and then it's just kind of you've just kind of gone off and it's taken its course. Like I've not really like been like, okay, we're all gonna hang out together. I've just been like, hey, Dejan, here's this person. I didn't initially introduce you to Grace. I think you met her briefly before I like introduced you, but you couldn't remember her name anyway before that point. So
no, I always remembered Grace's name. She's actually one of the few people that I remembered straight away.
Well, when I introduced her to you, you didn't know her, so maybe it was me introducing you for the first time then.
Because
that's why you said you'd met her once before I introduced you.
No, I had met her once before, but I didn't know it. Like I didn't know her name. We didn't speak. I'd seen her.
I see. Okay.
Like,
and then I was like,
yeah,
that's Grace.
I actually met her because like she was when Kia came over to sit with us because he spotted me, and that was just after the time we randomly hugged in Rusty's. It was like the week after that, and he was like, oh, "It's you." It does be me. Yeah, I would say that like I'm quite heavily a main character of my life. Like, I'm not someone that's particularly shy about being just like, oh, I don't want to intrude or anything like that. Like, it's just like, fuck you. I think we can be friends.
Oh yeah, I think I have to make. I've started in the past, like especially since I moved up to like uni. I've been making a lot more decisions that are like, no, this is my story. Fuck you, basically. Because I used to be very much like, I'm happy to have like a stories to tell or whatever, but it's never really my story. Yeah. And then as I kind of moved away, I realized, what am I doing? I have like a whole, I've got a whole life. Like it's not just, I'm not just attached to the people that I'm attached to. I can just do whatever I want. And
my greatest talent in life is making everything about me. If there's something more important than my ego, I want it caught and shot.
That's concerning.
No, it is just like, it's just like, it's genuinely an arrogance I gained when I started to do comedy. Literally, the second I started being paid for my comedy, I started treating nearly every single interaction like, just like, fuck you, you're getting free comedy.
It's part of the job, really, is just
so like,
fuck you.
So I became like incredibly confident because of that, essentially. Like,
yeah,
it just is. It's like, I mean, you've seen me at karaoke. I had like a proper round. I would go talk to these.
Karaoke is the most confident I've ever been as a person. Yeah. I just kind of, I got into my element, and karaoke was fun because it gave me an excuse to introduce myself to people.
Yeah. When
people would come up to me and be like, "You're the one who did that song at karaoke," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I am." Like, I was very. I dressed quite recognizably, had the ginger hair, so people could just kind of spot me out.
Well, me and Belshaw had people coming up to us, like, in nightclubs going, "Oh, you're the karaoke boys."
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
had the name of the karaoke boys.
I sang "She's So Lovely" at karaoke once when no one was there with me. I was just there on my own. But I was supposed to be. I think I was going to meet people out on a night out or something.
Yeah.
And I left karaoke, and as I was leaving, I was coming up to the car park, which is next to the library. And I was like walking up to there, and these two girls came over, and one of them was like, "You're the one who did She's So Lovely at karaoke, aren't you?" "Yeah, you were really good." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And that you know when people say like if you compliment a guy, it sticks with them for like a really long time because we're like so starved for it. Yeah, honestly, it just lives in my head rent free.
I'm genuinely the least starved man of compliments. Like literally, nearly every single time I get a taxi here, they're just like, "Oh, handsome man." This comes from other men, and I'm like, "Thank you."
It's like I get like a fair few compliments, but it's more a case of it's from someone you don't expect it from.
Yeah.
It like sticks with you. Like somebody I did a song for Musical Theatre Society, and I did like a pretty good job of it, I would think. It was when I sang Stars from Les Miserables. And during the tech rehearsal, the first time that a lot of these people had seen me sing it, someone was like, "I actually cried, like legitimately was like had shed a tear." That's like good enough to be on the West End. And I was just like, that I'm very happy with that, and I did not expect that person to say that because they're quite talented as well. So it was nice to hear it.
The best compliment I ever got from was from a guy called Ray Spencer. I'm saying his full name because he's a famous person in himself. He's Tommy the Trumpeter. But he's also the runner of the Customs House. And
yes, I do. I've heard heard tell of Ray.
It's like he's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy, by the way. But for whatever reason, I went through a period of going to like shows every week, and every week I was somehow next to him, like, and we got to know each other really, really well. But this is before this. This is before we got to know each other. It's how we originally got to know each other. Was he saw me do stand-up comedy, and he came over and was just like, "You genuinely have a future. If you want to do any work at the Customs House, let me know." So like, it was just immediate professional work. It was like my first gig.
Ray was the one where you've told the story on the podcast before of him laughing at your stuff, but not his. Was it his son's?
Yeah, no, daughter and wife.
Daughter. Yeah. That's a good story.
So
I like that.
He loves my comedy, but like this is a few years before that. He went to ended up there at one of my first gigs where I was just opening, and he was just like, "You were by far the funniest of the night." He just likes my comedy. I think it's because I do a character, and it's clearly a character, and it's quite an out there character. And like he always does characters. I mean, he's Tommy the fucking Trumpeter. You know, that counts for something. Like,
we talked about future plans today. We talked about comedy.
Yeah.
We've talked about some stories. Talked about some karaoke stories. Karaoke stories are always fun.
Yeah. Well, actually,
most of them are the same.
I want to go back to one thing. It's just that I think people should have the arrogance of me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
if it's in
people should have
in general life.
Arrogance.
I think like a muted arrogance in general life. Just like I am great. Fuck you if you don't think so. Or like in like comedy, just like, I'm the best.
Everyone should be as arrogant as they can get away with. Because you have different amounts.
Oh, for sure.
You have different amounts you can get away with. It depends on how charming you are. It depends on how funny you are. Now I have both. You know? So I'm very arrogant. But everyone should be as arrogant as they can get away with. Stop when you get punched all the time. But you should be punched every now and again.
I like to add a little bit for spice, a little bit of the old arrogance, as it were. But I try not to be too.
You are correct that we've talked a long time. I think it's time to end this episode.
Yeah, it's been.
Hien has ordered food and she's being rang.
This is usually our That's usually our like call to end the episode. Is well, Hien's ordered food, so 5-minute warning.
Anyway,
so
thank you for listening. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow our Twitter at PWAP Official.
Thank you to everyone for checking out the podcast. If you would like to catch it,
we're on different platforms. We're on Spotify.
On Google Podcasts.
We will
soon be on.
No, let's not say we'll soon be on. We might
We will maybe soon be on.
We might miraculously be accepted by Apple Podcasts. They go through a stringent validation purpose, and I read through the terms of service, and I reckon we broke a lot of it.
Well, we might end up on Apple Podcasts. We might not. Who really cares? It's fine.
Some of the things we said, some of the things we've done, I don't think we're getting on, but we might.
Check out our Twitter at PWAP Official if you'd like to see more. Well, I guess more of Dejan. I haven't tweeted on there in a while. Yeah. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, for anything else we haven't really plugged, I guess. Subscribe to Bonk Provider on Twitch. I'm plugging my own shit. Yeah. Subscribe. Well, follow me on Twitch. Sorry, not subscribe. Subscribe means giving me money, and I can't even do that yet.
I want affiliate. I'll also plug my own shit. Subscribe to Bad Mouth Youth Ministry because I am the owner of that channel.
Subscribe to Bad Mouth Youth Ministry. Shout out to Josh, even though he's not been on for a couple of weeks.
I can't wait till he's on because I want to see his face when he realizes I'm the owner of the channel. I want to see it.
Follow. I can't think of the full name of the Instagram account now, and I don't want to look it up. But follow Strutter on Instagram
because I will say this: I 100% won't do anything to fuck with Josh's channel, but he will 100% think I will.
Having the power to is truly what.
Oh no! He would be okay with anyone having that power but me. Maybe he wouldn't like it, but I would be the one person it would be his nightmare. He can't delete his own channel, but I can. Anyway,
that's the power. Thank you all for coming. It's been real. Follow at Strutter North on Twitter.
Yeet.
That was the one I was looking for. That's Kia's stuff.
Hopefully one day he'll be back on the podcast. Yeah. He's been a sleepy boy.
Hopefully, he's a very sleepy boy. But we'll get him one day. Maybe if we do a later one, it might be easier to grab him.
Hey.
Peace.
Oh.